This is dividing polynomials part 2. We're still working on this example from the first video, so I'm going to bring down the 10. It's a positive 10, and I'm going to repeat this process over. So how many times will x go into 28x? Another way of thinking about that is, what could I put up here to multiply by x and get 28x, which is just 28. Because if I do 28 times x, I'll get 28x. Again, you could have done 28x divided by the x, and you would see that you need a 28. All right, I also need to do 28 times 3, which is 84. And now for the last time, I'm going to subtract this entire quantity here, meaning I'll need to distribute the negative to both of those terms. And so that's going to become plus negative 28 and negative 84. Okay, so 28x and negative 28x should be gone. If that ever does not happen, you've done something wrong. So you need to go back and see what happened. And then 10 minus 84 would be negative 74. And at this point, I have nothing else to bring down. So this is my remainder, negative 74. If you'll remember, what we did with that original problem was we took the remainder and we put it over the divisor because it hasn't been divided yet, and that's what we have left. We're going to do the exact same thing here. Take this remainder and put it over the divisor, and that's just going to get tacked on to the end with a plus sign because we're adding on an additional negative 74 over x plus 3 because it hasn't yet been divided by x plus 3. You could make this plus minus and just minus if you want, but I'll just leave it as it is. So this is my final answer, my final quotient. This is what I get when I take this polynomial divided by this one. And actually you could check your answer if you really wanted to by multiplying these two together, and you should get back to this. All right, again, I know that seems complicated, but once you try a few, you'll get the hang of it. Remember that process is you're going to see what needs to go up here to multiply by that first term to get this. Then you subtract, bring down the next one, and repeat that process over and over until you get a remainder, and then you put that remainder over the original divisor. It's very similar to the long division you did back in the day. Just be careful of the negatives, and let's try another one. Oh, I do want to point out, it doesn't really matter where you put these things at the beginning, but I like to line up the x squared with this x squared, just so by the time I'm done, I can kind of see that I'm done. Let's try one more example. I want to evaluate this, so just like see what it equals when I take this polynomial divided by this one. Notice that this isn't written out in the little box, so I'll need to write it out myself. All right, this is the first thing, so it goes in the box. It's the dividend. If it's ever not in descending order based on the exponent, like 3, 2, 1, 0, you need to put it in order, just by the way. This is the divisor, x minus 2, so it goes on the outside. And here we go. So how many times will x go into x cubed? Or like, what could I put up here to multiply by x and get x cubed? That would be x squared, because x squared times x gives me x cubed. Again, I like to line up the squareds, but you can put it wherever. All right, I'll also do x squared times negative 2, so negative 2 x squared. And you may be like, uh-oh, those are just going to go away, but remember we're subtracting here, and you have to subtract both of them. So this will become a minus x cubed, but a minus negative 2x squared, which is actually going to become a plus. Those should cancel. 2 plus 2 is 4x squared. Bring down your next term. All right, what do I need up here? Times x to give me 4x squared. Or if I took 4x squared divided by x, I would get 4x, so that's what I need. 4x times x is, in fact, 4x squared. 4x times negative 2 is negative 8x. Subtract, subtract. That goes away. That becomes 3x. Bring down your next term. All right, x goes into 3x 3 times, because 3 times x gives me 3x. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. And whoa, this is actually a cool one, because when I subtract this and I subtract this, so it becomes a plus, that's going to be 0. And negative 6 plus 6 is also 0. And now I have nothing left to bring down. And typically what we'll do at the end here is put the remainder over the original divisor, but 0 divided by anything is just 0. And so I don't have a remainder here. This actually divided evenly. So this is my quotient with no remainder.